It's gonna be good, it's gonna be great, it's gonna be better, I can't wait. Making my move, live for the day, sing like a bird, fly like a plane. Come spill with me, Jenny D.
Another episode on Spill With Me, Jenny D podcast. I am so excited. I have my guest here, Brenda. Brenda is the Director of Operations at the Blessed Home Project. Mm-hmm. And I was just saying, we were just talking about this a couple years ago when I first started my show. So I've come a long way. Mm-hmm. I had Melissa on, and Melissa is the founder. She's the director of the Blessed Home Project. We talked about what it's about, and Brenda's here today to kind of fill us in about what they've been doing, all the new things, mm-hmm. and and how you can get in contact with them, and just all about the Blessed Home Project. And I love when, people are doing good and doing these nonprofits to really help people that are sick. And this is just going to be such a great episode. I'm so excited to hear. It's May,
yep.
May, and it's Mental Health Awareness Month, and it's also, we're talking about Mother's Day, and really uplifting moms. This year I've really focusing on women's voices, be seen, be heard. So I'm so glad you're here today, Brenda. Introduce yourself to the listeners and viewers.
Yeah, perfect. I am Brenda Siskey, and I'm original Pittsburgher. Grew up on the north side of Pittsburgh. Lived in the West Hills since 2007. So, just really want to jump in and share. Blessed Home Project was founded in 2020. So
2020, yes. That was during COVID. I
think back, March 13th, 2020 is when Melissa Laughlin received, our official paperwork that we were going to be nonprofit. And so, yes, and then didn't do any cleans for about a year and a half because everybody was kind of hunkered down. Right. Isolation was setting in, and Melissa stepped out with some family members, friends, initially doing a random Saturday because she still had her for-profit cleaning company at the time.
Right.
And would do these Saturday cleans for people that were going through difficult times, completely free, as a gift, to be an encouragement, be a light, when they're going through dark times. Right. And did more in 2022. And during that time, still had the for-profit. I was a school counselor, and just kind of knee-deep in all of that. And thinking through COVID, thinking through just the load if you're in mental health profession,
right?
How heavy that can be. Trying to support everyone.
What is your education background, Brenda?
Yeah, my undergrad was at Carlow. I studied psychology and business, and just always, since I was a kid, people at the store, wherever I was, family, friends, whoever, they would just treat me like a counselor.
Would they open up
just
to you?
Always listen.
Yes.
I had something on my head that was tell me your life story.
Yes.
I will listen. So just
that.
from a young age, and just always, empathetic. Listened.
And that's a blessing. When people feel comfortable enough to open up to you and tell you their stories. Yeah. I felt like that too. That's why I started this, is because people were sharing their stories with me, and I'm like, wait a minute. Your story could help somebody out there.
Yes,
Let's share this.
Exactly.
And so your background, so you really wanted to help people and get into the mental health.
Yes. Wasn't sure where. My dad was a business owner. I thought, and I loved kids. I'm like, maybe I'll do a daycare or something, and thought of education in my undergrad. And then there was a pivot, and thank God there was a great advisor over in the psychology department. Yes. Someone from education connected me to Dr. Winter, and she just listened to me. Yeah. And then I started taking psychology classes and just had that desire to listen and to help, but still finished my bachelor's and was like, what am I going to do? Well, I was doing a before and after school program, and then family business with my dad. There were some changes, and he needed help. So he has a cemetery monument company. So again, listening to people.
Yes.
Their grief stories. Grieving has always just been something that's part of life. I was able to listen to it and encourage. And so I did that with him for a few years. And then we had children. I got married, had kids, and was focusing on spending time with them, raising them, and then really felt a prompting to go back and get my degree to become a school counselor. And so I did that. and then I was a school counselor for about 6 years.
Oh, really? Now, was it elementary or was it high school?
I had middle school and high school.
Okay.
So I had grades 7 through 12, and I did all like the college and career advisement. Again, listening to people, paying attention to their strengths, where is God calling them? How have they been gifted? What would they be excited about, and help them get the education, the experience, to be able to carry that out.
Absolutely, yes.
So I found that really rewarding. Enjoyed listening to the parents,
Right.
Even just as, they're trying to help their children and
and
lead
don't
them
you feel like
and
that's
support.
something that, as, people, people need people. And sometimes when you isolate yourself, even like the young students, or if you're talking about, adults or anybody grieving, like you were saying, if you isolate yourself and you're not talking about it, it consumes you, and then you spiral. And
Yeah,
it's just,
it's like all that you can see, and you just ruminate on that, and isolation sets in, and then that is all that you can see.
The depression,
and it's just that darkness in that pit, if you will. And unless somebody, reaches in, gives you a hand, that's what really we do. We see so many people, whether it's a medical challenge, or maybe they've been in a car accident, maybe their child has died, going through cancer treatments. They're a caretaker, like burned out caretakers will go in and do a cleaning for them.
I was going to say, I've been really concentrating a lot on caregivers, because now I see people around me that are taking care of their parents, and I'm like, they are exhausted. I can
that
see
sandwich
that.
generation thing it's called. You're working, you're trying to take care of your children, your parents are aging, and you're just stuck with everything, kind of juggling it.
Right.
And so, they're definitely a population that we can step in and help relieve that burden, within the home physically is what we say, relieve that burden physically, but then also be that encouragement again, so that they are seeing, they realize that they're not doing life alone. God sees them. He's sending people, that are willing to care. And then as a school counselor, I had all those resources. Like I was a resource giver. I couldn't do everything myself, but building resources. So we do that, really well with Blessed Home Project. Kelly is our scheduling coordinator. And so even on that initial phone call, when someone is nominated and she reaches out, she's hearing their stories. Maybe they have trouble getting food, connect them with the local food pantry, connect them to Meals on Wheels. Resources are already starting. And it's that initial thing. Even mental health was like invigorating hope. People already started feeling hope whenever they even scheduled their first counseling appointment.
Right.
There was so much research on that. And so I see that happening here too. People are already feeling hope that their situation could get better even when they're scheduled, for that initial cleaning.
Right.
That someone was listening to them. Kelly takes her time, listens to them. She'll pray with them if they are receptive to that as well. And just knowing that someone is coming to help. Already you see that hope like rising in them.
Well, so what made you go to the Blessed Home Project?
Yeah, I was looking for a career change. I actually reached out to Melissa in 2020 when she had her for-profit only. Around 2020. And I was like, I think I just need something, different field that was still wanted to help people, but a little bit less emotional, a little bit less hats to wear, if you will.
Because sometimes it's a lot. I find myself when I'm out and about that I'll see somebody, somebody working, behind the counter. I can tell that they're just off, or they're just they feel
like a heaviness.
And I so bad because now that I've been doing this, and like you said, we were talking about this before, listening. Like I've become such a better listener with doing this podcast. So when I see somebody out and about, I my radar goes up, and I'm sure this happens with you too,
for sure.
because you're like, oh my God, are you okay? Like, what's going on? Do you want to sit down and talk? Some people are very receptive of sometimes, sometimes let's talk about it. But some people are, no, I'm fine.
Yeah.
And so, you're in that profession of like, you want to help as much as you can.
Always have like the eyes, and you just see. If you go out with that set of eyes, like kind of looking for people to reach or to help, you'll see them. Like they'll be illuminated, and you'll see them.
Right.
And if you're willing, to help them, then you'll have those connections. But we go in. Sometimes people really want to talk. Sometimes we walk in the door and they're already crying. Whether it's overwhelmed or they're just so happy tears of like, wow, someone's going to help me, or they're distraught. We sit, we listen to them first. Yes, we're there to clean, and we're going to get that done too. But the time is multiplied. Like if you put the person first, the things are going to be taken care of as well. So we listen to them first, and then we start the job.
That makes more sense.
And you build rapport. they start trusting you.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, because somebody coming into your home, like, not that it's saying
it's
you're
a big
bringing
deal.
strangers in, but, they might be hesitant, like, oh my God, I don't want them to see, maybe I have, like, my closet's a mess. Or,
Oh yeah, there's a level of like
Yeah.
embarrassment, some pride,
Yes.
but as we're there, we start helping, and you just see those walls coming down, and then there's sharing all this stuff that I've had people say, I've never told anybody this, but as you're serving them, that wall comes down, and it's just amazing what they will open up and tell you, and you have people giving hugs for sure,
Right.
but like literally saying I love you after you've been there for a couple hours, like it's just amazing.
Because you're
so,
like, you're
so
like
meaningful.
guardian angels. You come in.
Yeah, we
and
get
they're-
called that too.
Yeah,
they're like the
who
angels.
are they? The angels are here.
Yeah.
Like, who are these wonderful people? This, wonderful nonprofit organization that these men and women come into your home.
Yep, men
and
too.
they want to clean your home for you because, like you said, go down. If you're sick, or if you've lost
a loved one.
Lost a loved
Yep.
one.
Yep. Maybe car accident, so some type of injury there,
that
accidental.
you're not mobile.
Yep,
Or
yep.
you live alone.
Exactly. Live alone, limited support. So maybe thinking of an aging grandparent. Maybe the kids and grandkids are all out of town.
Right.
We help individuals be able to stay in their home. So coming in, we have monthlies that we go in, and again, that's peace of mind for their family.
Oh yeah.
There's ones we've cleaned for, their daughters lived in Arizona, and like we would go every month. And not only did we go every month, but we would call in and check on them, send cards if we're in the area, send a message call, and be like, oh, did you need something from the grocery? Or, opportunities like that. Or young families, if we're connected, like maybe there's been a vacuum donated or a microwave or clothes.
Yes.
We try to meet those needs as well. And just by maintaining the relationships and getting to know the family or the individual, what they, need. You support them in extra ways.
That's amazing. So it started in 2020.
Yeah. So
Melissa.
go back to that. Yeah. It started in 2020.
It's 2026 now.
And it is. So
It's
we
been
had our
6 years that this has
6-year
been going
anniversary.
on.
Yes. And so
We have Melissa here. She's hiding in the corner.
Yeah. So a little bit of timeline. 2020, started, formally. The end of 21 did a few cleans. 22 did a few dozen. And then January of 23 is whenever Melissa hired me as a first staff member. I was looking for that career change. I'm like, just something part-time. I was helping my dad again as well in his business. And I'm like, something part-time. I'm going to come clean. I want to help people. I like what you're doing.
Yes.
I want to be part of it. And so started very part-time. And then the role just expanded because I, as a school counselor, I would go to vendor shows, like talk with the colleges. So Melissa's like, oh, you can do the tables, go out to different opportunities
how we
there. So
met.
talk,
Yeah,
yes, go
at
to
a networking
networking. So I
lunch.
go to networking groups, represent Blessed Project,
And
building
you threw
connections.
me off because when I first saw you, Brenda, I was like, wait a minute. It says Hope Deal. It didn't say Blessed Home Project, but that heart in the hope. I
That's
know
our signature,
that's
yes.
the signature.
It's the open heart. That's what we say.
Yes.
Like, keep our hearts open, be vulnerable,
Right.
like be open to other people.
Because
to
the
help and
teal
listen.
color is definitely
That's a signature color.
that's a
So if you see
signature
the
color.
teal, you see that open heart, hope, we say we bring hope home. And so not only bringing hope home through the cleanings, going in people's homes, but then that community outreach. So throughout doing the cleanings, then we expanded. We started having ministry nights. So
Really?
times of reflective music, times to pray, maybe a short message. Again, we've had October, we had a ministry night. There were 14 different churches represented. So we had them right where church they normally attend.
Right.
And so a variety of churches around. So, we're not getting hung up
This
on
is all new
denomination,
to me,
anything.
yes.
Yeah. So we've had several of those ministry nights where we just gather, connect, lift each other up.
Right.
We have opportunity to share that we exist. And so the ministry nights have been really powerful. And
I like that, the ministry nights.
Yep,
Yes.
ministry nights. So, and then the clothing swap, we do that biannually, so twice. So in the fall and the spring, we do it at Western Allegheny Community Library in the West Allegheny School District, like Imperial area.
Yeah.
And so we have, actually, our next one is this weekend. Friday is drop-off day from 10 to 4.
Well, this will be in May,
Yeah.
so we will.
Yeah,
Well, so-
and then shop day, like free shop.
I love that.
So people donating, beautiful connections in the fall, and people were calling like, I have clothes to donate, but I can't maybe get out. And we're like, and then you learn about their story and like, maybe they have mobility challenges.
Right.
It can turn into a cleaning, can turn into a prayer
I
opportunity.
have 2 bags in my garage right now. My daughter had me, when she was home during Easter, she had me go to Plato's Closet to see if she, do you know we had 2 big bags. They took 3 things.
Yeah, it can be pretty soft.
And I said, there's somebody out there that would love these clothes. I'm like, some of them are winter, so maybe it's because of the weather.
If it's seasonal or whatever their inventory. Yeah.
So I'm like, I didn't even know, because I'm like, I want to give it to people that need it.
Yes.
I don't want to just give it to Goodwill so they can resell it. I'd
Sure.
rather give it to an organization. I did not realize.
Yeah, we
you
started
guys
doing
did
those twice a year, and then all the leftovers in the fall. We had 26 bags left over in 10 boxes.
Wow.
The city mission, they came and took all of those, and they help because they have men, women, children shelters, and so all the work that they're doing,
I love
was
that
great.
you are so a part of the other nonprofits out there, or the other organizations, because it kind of takes a village, the whole community. And I really, that's why I love Pittsburgh, and I love my Pittsburgh people, is because there's so many wonderful nonprofits out there to really help people through some really tough times,
Yeah, and Melissa and myself and all of us really feel like that's not like a scarcity mindset, like, oh, we have to get everything for our nonprofit. No, it's like, and again, we're not doing everything. Like there are so many other wonderful nonprofits and people doing additional services that we're complementing and we're referring and we're sharing, and it's like we're not trying to do it all or or try to have all of the funding or anything like that. We want to share. Each of us are in our own lane and complementing each other, but yeah, so doing the clothing swaps have been great, and then we pass on this spring. Some of it will still go to the city mission, but also Treasure House Fashions, repurposed. The kids clothing closet, I believe, is the title. They're in Swickley.
Okay.
And people can, if you have kids, like that's completely free. You can come in there a couple times a month, get free kids clothes there. They're repurposed, and Treasure House Fashions are on McKnight Road in the North Hills. They help a lot of women in crisis situations. We always bag up some of our clothes for some of our recipient families, the people that we've cleaned for.
And
we know their sizes, yes. And so we'll do some bagging up of those, kind of shop for them, and then deliver them if they can't get out to the swap. Because we do serve the North Hills, the South Hills, and the West Hills.
I was just going to ask you, where are you located?
Yeah, so we're based in Moon. And so if we're doing our nomination form, we say, like, picture yourself in Moon, like the Moon Airport area. And if you are within, think of a drive about 45
Everything
minutes.
Takes 30 minutes
without traffic. That kind of a drive.
Not during the draft.
So it gets us out to Beaver, so Beaver County, and then all the way in if you come in the Parkway that way. North Hills, going through, the North Side area, parts of that, and then up McKnight Road, all the way up to Wexford.
Oh, wow.
And then think through the south. So that's starting, Robinson, Kennedy, we got a lot in there, and then coming south, out to South Park, even Canonsburg, parts of Washington County.
This way,
Yes. So one of our recent volunteers, she's a Peters Township teacher, so she's a volunteer. Another one in Bethel Park. But the team initially started in the West Hills, more of like that Moon area. So Melissa's, based, Kelly, in Moon.
How big is the team now?
So there's 5 of us on staff, part-time. Melissa, the founder, myself, the director of operations. Kelly is our scheduling coordinator. Ian is project manager, so he's one of our cleaners on site.
Right.
And then we have Michelle. She's joined most recently, and she helps with our social media content.
Oh, that's
so
great.
really helping to get
you need
the
somebody
voice out
to do that. You can't do it all. Melissa was, when I talked to her a couple of years ago, she was doing it all.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, that's not sustainable.
She was working the tables.
Not sustainable. So yes, learning what to delegate, building the team, and each of us doing, our parts, and together it all comes together. But yeah, we have 5 of us on part-time staff, and then we have a couple dozen volunteers. And so some of the volunteers come on cleans. Some of the volunteers help at events. So like
I was going to say, how many volunteers would you say? I was like, the 5 of you can't be doing it.
No, we don't do everything. There's always a staff member on a clean that brings the supplies, making sure everything is done professionally, consistently, training the volunteers, all of that. So there's always a staff member there. But then volunteers come on. And like I said, also at events. So we do a big back to school bash. This will be our 3rd one.
Oh, really?
So August 1st. It'll be down in Coriopolis. So we connect with a lot of businesses that want to sponsor, help out kids, get their name out, and it's at the Coriopolis, the Montour Sports Junction.
Yeah.
AHN, I believe, down there. And last year we do 300 backpacks.
Oh my gosh.
Also have their supplies, and it's all done with dignity. Everything's done with compassion, but the dignity piece, like they're going from vendor table, other like resources, other nonprofits have a table, and they're passing out. Like a local dentist office gave out hygiene kits. We can pass those out. Notebooks, pencils. They get to shop, from each table, fill up their backpacks, get ready for the school year. But we have fun things there too, like the bouncy house. We have face painting. We have a craft station.
That's amazing.
We have games.
And this is 3 years you've been
Yes,
doing
we are
this?
third year. Mm-hmm.
Wow. I know
Yep.
Melissa will send me some of her some of her events that are going
Yeah.
on, that she's having a fundraiser. And I'm like, I can't make it. I
Oh,
can't seem to
yeah.
make it. Hopefully in August, though, I'll be able to.
Yeah, it'll be Saturday. It's always the first Saturday
It's
in
the first
August.
Saturday
That's
in
the pattern.
August?
Yes, August 1st, that afternoon. But yes, and we'll even have some food trucks there. So
Like on a Saturday, you said on a Saturday.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it'll be at Coriopolis.
the Montour Sports
Montour
Junction
Sports, okay.
down in Coriopolis from 1 p.m. to 4.
Oh, that's
I believe.
perfect.
So it's like that afternoon sweet spot. But again, yeah, if you don't need school supplies yourself or your family, you can still come down for the fun. Check out the other resource tables that are there, buy something from the food trucks. But
Yeah.
inside activities are all free for the kids. So you can go out, like where can you go and have a few hours, of fun for your family, get ready for the school year.
Right. What age group is it? Does it matter?
All school age. So yeah, like that preschool, all the
the
way
way
through. Yeah, if
Yeah.
you need those supplies or just want to get out for something fun. We actually have one of our new monthly cleans came from a connection last summer. So yes, her family, their military family, they have 2 young kids, and she came through and talked to us at our vendor table. We went and did her free clean in the fall, and then she reached out late winter and was like, we're still struggling. We have a lot on our plate.
Oh, wow.
And I heard that you're doing paid cleanings, so would you be able to do that for us on a monthly basis? So yes, so that's a really nice connection we got out of
Right.
that back to school event, and just being able to serve that family now on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
So
that's amazing.
yeah,
So back in 2023, when you first started, Brenda,
that January.
how many houses compared to back then to now that you have been cleaning?
Yes. So in 2023, we did. Think back. Last year was 204.
I was like, Melissa,
Let me
yeah.
think back.
No, I-
So I keep track of everything.
Oh,
So
do
that's
you?
one of the
Okay.
reasons why Melissa brought me on. That and I'm tall is what I like to say. 2025, we did 204 cleans. That includes apartments, houses, community centers, low-funded community centers.
Oh, you do community centers too? Wow.
Yep. So low-funded community centers, a men's recovery home. We did all those last year. The year before, in 2024, we did 198.
So it keeps going up.
Yes, and then in 23, I think it was around like 175, if I
Okay.
want to say 150, 175.
We just started 2026, so I don't know if you even have a gauge.
Right now, we are around 60. If I pulled up my spreadsheet, I can tell you.
You're
No,
good. You're
but
organized.
around 60. So we will definitely hit 600, probably early summer
Jesus.
in our 6-year anniversary. So
Oh my god.
yeah, it keeps expanding, but the community centers are a great opportunity too. State Farm Insurance, Lindsey Brown State Farm Insurance
Yeah.
Group, they've sent out a team. These past 2 Decembers, we did Mooncrest in December of 2024. Their community center, they sent a team. They even were so sweet. They got like new games for the community center for the kids.
Yeah.
Brought some donations there. And then this last year, we did the Rock down in Oakdale. And same thing, they sent their team, and then a couple of us, Blessed Home Project, bring the cleaning supplies, and we can get like every nook and cranny, a really deep clean that the limited staff can't do on a regular basis. So
Right.
like coming and doing a deep clean like that, like I said, men and women's recovery homes, when we're able to go in and give a fresh start,
Yes.
that's a beautiful thing as well. But the majority are individual apartments, and homes. Again, yeah, whether it's one time.
Have you ever turned anybody away?
Really, the ones that are not served are pretty much because they're not in the service area. So we will get nominations in like the Oakland and like all the way out in the East Hills, and then people out of state. Like we've had
Right.
people whenever Melissa was on the Kelly Clarkson
I
show
know,
last year.
I have that on my
Yeah.
notes. I wanted to
That
talk
was
about
exciting,
that.
yeah.
She when I saw it and she told me they were having like a watch party. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god! I was so excited.
Yes.
It was Brooke Shields, though. Wasn't
Yes,
it?
that's who interviewed that day.
I would have because Brooke Shields is what I grew up with. I'm older than you
Yeah,
girls.
I remember Brooke. Yeah,
I do, yeah.
I do.
But I grew up with her, like knowing
Yeah.
her and stuff. So I would have been just so excited
Yeah.
to see Kelly Clarkson. She's young, you know. She's,
But
she's
getting that
beautiful,
was the
too.
first like national exposure, and so we got in nominations from different states, and they're like, "Well, would you come?" And I'm like, "At this time, we can't, but we've
Yes.
just got to keep praying and asking and like sharing so that we can replicate this nationwide because the needs are nationwide,
Right.
for sure.
Right.
That's an obvious.
Is there any other organization that does what you guys do?
So there's Cleaning for a Reason, and
But it's
they
not-
will like sub out to cleaners that are paid in that area. It's
yeah.
a system like of referral, but they're for individuals going through cancer treatment specifically.
Okay.
So that has to be your issue that's going on is cancer.
Right.
And whereas we're so broad, you know, whether it is a physical need, you know, an emotional, social need, like I said,
Right.
or we've done a lot of families that they've had NICU deliveries. So when you think of going back and forth to the hospital, you're a new mom.
Right.
Even if you're not struggling with like postpartum depression, you know, just the fact of going back and forth to the hospital,
Oh, yeah.
your home is going to get behind. You're going to be exhausted. So we've gone in and done house, you know, cleanings for those families, or maybe again thinking of the mom that maybe she's on bed rest because her pregnancy is complicated, and there's concerns there. You know, that would meet criteria for the one-time free clean. Situations like that as well.
Right.
And then you think of the aging mom and you live several states away.
Yeah,
that could be
that's-
something you could gift.
That's a reassurance that you know
Yeah.
that she's being taken care
Yep.
of too.
Yep.
Plus, you're almost like checking on her,
Exactly.
you know, because there's sometimes that, you know, we know there's probably a lot of like elderly people that are living alone in the house that they, you know, maybe raise their kids. And
Yeah.
the
They
house
want
is
to
just
stay
too
there.
big.
Yeah.
It's
They
too,
wanna
I'm
stay
already
there.
dealing with our
Yeah.
the grandparents. You
Yeah,
know, they
so
don't want to leave.
We're definitely one of the resources that are helping people age in place. And so,
Age in place. Ooh,
Uh-huh.
I like that.
you
Age
like that? Yeah.
in place.
Yes.
Now, if somebody's listening right now and they're like, oh, well, I don't know if I'm eligible. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Should I call? So when you say nominations,
Yeah.
for instance, so somebody's out there and they're like, you know, my aging parents, or
Yeah.
I'm a caregiver, or, you know, I know somebody that's sick. How would they go about that?
Yeah. If they're able to use the computer, the best way and the simplest would be to go to blessedhomeproject.org.
Okay.
And whether you're looking for that free cleaning, that's a nomination process. We also have a book with us that's like your paid clean, general public, no health concerns, but you just want to have a paid cleaning opportunity knowing that part of those proceeds are going to fund the free ones.
Right.
That piece. So you'd want to look for the nomination one. And you fill out a form. There's just a handful of questions based, number one, where are you located to see
Right.
if you're in our service area. A little bit about what's going on in the story. And then the recipient is the homeowner, the one that we're actually going to go do the service for.
Right.
So you fill in that information. And if you're doing it for someone else, then you would be the nominator. You know, the one
Right.
getting the cleaned is the recipient. But fill out that, and then Kelly is our scheduling coordinator. She gets those, she reviews them, she reaches out, asks a few more questions. We do ask for pictures so that we do not handle any infestations like bugs, rodents, any
yeah, I was
hoarding
gonna ask you that,
situations, or mold, like
Yeah.
mold. So anything that would compromise the safety and health of our team,
Right.
so that we want to be able to keep doing this for people, right?
Right. I thought
So
about
we're
that.
protecting that. If they have those levels of challenge, then we would refer them out to other, you know, more appropriate resources. But your typical home, you can have some clutter. Don't worry about clutter. We're not afraid
Right.
of clutter. We'll help you organize that a little bit if you're receptive to that. But just asking for some of those pictures, basic questions, and then we can get you scheduled usually within a week, 2 at the most.
Wow.
We do give preference to people if they're coming out of, maybe they were had knee surgery and they're coming out of physical rehabilitation. You know, we kind of look at the schedule and we can give preference, you know, trying to meet their deadlines, their dates. You know, really can usually fit people in pretty well
Yes.
with that. And then otherwise, sometimes they'll say, right now things are just really chaotic. Like, I really like this service,
Right.
not quite ready. Like, can you follow up with me in maybe like a month? You know, something like that. That's fine too. We get the initial information, get the pictures so that whenever they call and say like, I'm ready, like, can you get me on now? Like, it's ready to go.
Right.
But there is, the online nomination. Kelly will reach out after, get
So
those
that's
pictures.
blessedhomeproject.org.
Yeah, and you'll see all of the ways to get connected there. If you can't use the computer, you know,
I was gonna
whoever,
say, is there a number
call.
to call?
Just call.
What's the number?
It's 412-204-7051. And that gets you directly to Kelly.
Okay.
And she will ask you those questions over the phone. She'll fill out the digital form for you. If you can't get pictures yourself, a lot of our senior citizens, maybe they can't take the pictures in their home.
Right.
Maybe sometimes a neighbor can. Maybe there is a family or a friend that can pop over and take pictures. If those options aren't available, then we can take a look at our schedule and stop by. One of the team members can stop by.
You're gonna be dealing
again,
with,
it's like make sure that it is safe, to go into, that we have enough people, because we're always sending at least 2. But whether we send 2 people like during a weekday or whether we save it for like a weekend and get maybe 4 or 5 helpers,
right,
depending upon the project size, like we need to know that. And again, just knowing the surfaces, like we always bring more than enough. We're like, the Girl Scout, be prepared, but bring a lot of stuff. But we can bring even more people, more supplies if we have a better, visual idea of what's going on, in the house.
Did Melissa tell me this a couple years ago when she was on that you guys did laundry?
No, we don't like take laundry off site typically. If there's been a couple times where
Or like
you
somebody
see,
said, "Can you throw?"
it
this
happened
in?"
recently. Yeah, there was a young mom and she was behind. It's like, oh, can I shift this from the washer to the dryer?
Yes,
or
that's what I meant,
can I
yeah.
get this out of the dryer? Sometimes their laundry is down in the basement and they've said like, oh, could you just bring up the basket or could you take the basket down?
Oh wow.
Little things like that.
Yes.
Yes. But we're not like taking it all off site, relaundering or anything extreme like that.
I didn't know if you were doing. Like,
No, but
you're
we
making
can
the beds
do
and
something like that. Or
cleaning.
somebody had us take down their curtains for them. Like they couldn't physically, raise their arms, get the curtains down. So we got them down for her. She put them in her washer, ran the cycle, while we were going there because we're on site for like 2.5 hours.
Right.
Let it do its thing. And then we were able to hang them up for her before we left.
I can't stand curtains because there's so much dust.
It's a big project.
So now I have a lot of blinds, but they get so dusty.
Oh, they get dusty too. Yeah. Yes.
So there's no easy way
But
to do
so
it.
we always get that's part of Kelly with scheduling. She gets their priority list. Everybody wants their bathrooms and their kitchens done.
Oh yeah.
That's like always.
Right.
But they might say, skip these bedrooms because that's just storage, or maybe nobody's using those extra bedrooms, like skip those. But she'll get a priority list so the team knows where to really spend the time.
Right.
And so it could be something like, could you help us get the drapes down? And I'm going to, the homeowner will wash them and we'll put them back up. That could be, or I'm thinking of changing your bed sheets, or some people, want to rotate your mattress.
Yeah.
Like, how do some of these people get to, especially if you have shoulder surgery or you're just getting older and have that limited mobility. So we can help with special things like that on site.
That's
again,
amazing.
just if they
that
know.
really is.
Yeah, we're just there, to help. So, and each home is as unique as the homeowner and what their situation is and what their needs are within the home and ways to help. So we have general, processes in place and procedures and you're, expecting to, like I said, do the bathroom, kitchen and all of that. But then there'll be some special projects that just are difficult for them.
Right.
And the next homeowner, that might be a piece of cake, but yeah.
You're the hope
But
dealer.
we can, yeah, we do. Yeah.
You're
and it's
the hope
personalized.
dealer,
And that's, but that's really what it is. It's just about getting to help people, our verse in 1 Peter, like just serving others, using the gifts and talents that we have been given by God, using them to serve others. It's that simple and
that's
beautiful at the same
I
time.
think it is so beautiful because do you feel like once you leave a home and you see that, the person living in the home is just so grateful.
Oh,
and so, I feel like I'm going to cry because I'm like, I just that feeling of someone coming in that you don't even know that wants to help you. It's just such a report. Like that's what makes our world so wonderful at times. There are so many good people out there that are willing to help other people.
There really are. Yeah.
You know, and that's, to me, like you guys are doing such a wonderful service and I just love it. And Melissa and I have been friends for a long time, since I started my podcast. And every time, she texts me or calls me, I'm like, yeah, let's do something. I don't care.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, people like you guys and, the Blessed Home Project is just something that is like a gift, that you're giving,
Yes,
and
absolutely.
people just don't know that that's out there or that the resources to find you.
Yeah.
And is there anything that we didn't talk about anything new? I think we got everything. We got the fundraisers going on. We've got August. Do you have any other ones? Or
Yeah, the
anything
back
else?
to school bash will be August 1st, and then we'll do the clothing swap again, probably in September, and then probably have like a fundraiser dinner, and we, gather donors, gather our volunteers, show appreciation. Planning that towards the end of the year, probably like November. But our website, if you just check the events page on it, you can see
what's
things
going on.
there. Follow us on Instagram, on Facebook. You'll see before and afters. You'll see, like on-site footage, which is really nice. You see recipient testimonials. It's so good when you can get those moments captured because, again, back to like you might feel ashamed or you're just concerned about letting someone in your house, but then they have that experience, then they build that trust, and then when they're willing to share that video, it's an encouragement to other people.
Right.
That yes, Blessed Home Project is trustworthy. They're going to do what they say they're going to do, which is rare, in this day and age.
Right.
And they're going to do it with compassion.
So do it with compassion.
Yeah.
I love that. They're not going to be judging you because
No.
you've got, dust everywhere.
Oh yeah, people are often they're like apologizing, and we're like, don't say sorry. Like we wouldn't have gotten to meet you. That's like our volunteers are so sweet, and the team, like we wouldn't have gotten to meet you if you kind of weren't going through this. And we're thanking them like for letting them, for them letting us in their home.
Right.
Like that's how we handle it. There is no shame at all. It's just such love. So
I do think that sometimes we do feel that when somebody comes out, I even feel like this with my I have two beagles, dogs, and I'm like, does my house smell like dog?
Oh right.
I'm like, I don't know if people come in, does my you feel, and it's this day and age, it's like we're here to help each other. We're not here to judge.
Yeah.
To make fun.
No.
If you are like that, then you're not a part of our world. You're not a part of our circle.
Yeah.
You have a great circle of wonderful volunteers and people working the staff, and you've got a great boss.
Yeah, everybody has a really neat story, and all of us, shout out to our spouses. Our spouses each have full-time work, benefits, and they, believe in what we're doing and are supportive of each of us doing this. So much gratitude for each of our spouses. With this, so that we are able to each of us do this part-time and in a flexible manner. And so just so grateful for that support as well. And local businesses that are believing in what we're doing, that come along as monthly partners.
That's wonderful.
Come along as event sponsors.
Because I was going to say, cleaning supplies are very expensive.
They can be, yes. We reuse, we use microfiber cloths, try to be mindful of that. Whenever we do a big event, when we do like Swiffer duster refills, maybe ask for those to come to be donated. But Lysol, we're washing the rags, so like everything is sanitized. So it does cost money replacing the vacuums.
Right.
Different things like that.
The wear and tear of them too.
Yes. So we've done some supply drives. Whenever businesses could set out, a box or just the QR code to donate. Right now, really the push is to donate the school supplies for the summer event. We'd really like that to happen, but we do have some great people that periodically send the Lysol, send the Swiffer dusters, and they just want to see us keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah, I love that.
But I would say those, and I think if there's other events you think of, but
I was going to say the pictures you were saying, send them to me. I will post them with this, so people can see the before and after. But
following social media, you'll see.
We'll see it. Yeah.
The good, the bad, the ugly, the results.
And I love that because what is satisfying for them too to see their home oh my gosh, to feel at ease.
Yes.
That if they're in pain or they're going through some tough times.
Yes.
I'm just thankful that and blessed that you were here today to share the story about what Melissa started with the Blessed Home Project, and I just really enjoyed this conversation.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm glad
Thanks
I got
for letting me share
to know you even more. After the networking group, because we get that 1 minute elevator speech.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
Which I'm always like, oh my God, nobody wants to hear my. But
it's so different. If you were to come on site and see, it's so different than just hearing I'm helping these people and they really like it and they appreciate it. But it's you see them, the tears of happiness, the tears of just the overwhelm, all of that being relieved. It's so special.
It's gratitude. What a wonderful way. And thank you so much. And thank you,
Thank
Melissa.
you.
She's off to the side here.
Thank
you for coming here today, guys, and sharing your story. And this was another episode of Spill With Me, Jenny D. Take care.
Come spill